Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, how you doing? First of all, make sure you let me know when my 15 minutes up because I can talk on this thing. I always say I never seen a mic I didn't like. and thank you, Sabrina and Robert. Robert, that's the one thing about getting soulful and truthful, man. The tears sure do come, man. Where I was raised at, crying was a weakness and everything. But since I've been in this program, the tears do come. I'm an emotional type. I started to go to emotional monitors. I started crying so much, But today I'm not ashamed of that. And I want to thank you and Sabrina for the lead. Got a lot out of that. And yeah, my name is Leon H. And I'm a past delegate, past 60, panel 67. And I am a sober alcoholic. My dry date is August 2007. And since that day, I haven't had a desire. I can't say I haven't had a desire. I haven't had a drink or any of that other side dishes since then. It's good to see you, Arlene. It's been a little while. It's good to see people that I haven't seen in a little while, to let me know that y'all doing all right through this pandemic. I missed all the meetings we attended together. And so they asked me to speak on the three legacy and service sponsorship. Service sponsorship, I could talk on that for days, so I'm not going to go into detail. But when you start talking about the three legacy, I looked up something, and it says the circle stands for the whole world of AA, and the triangle stands for three legacy of recovery, unity, and service. Okay. Within our wonderful world, we have found freedom from our fatal obsession. That we chose this particular symbol is perhaps no accident. The priests and seers of antiquity regarded the circle enclosing the triangle of means by warding off spirits of evil, and AA circle and triangle of recovery unity certainly has certainly meant that to all of us. So when I look at that symbol, which we do not have a copyright to, but it's everywhere you go you can see it and you know where AA meeting is. And you see the circle, and when I get out that circle is like, you always go to an AA meeting, they sitting in a circle. And then when we close the meeting, we always join hands and be in that circle. And then you got in the middle, you got recovery, unity, and service. All sides are equal in that triangle. Now, I had looked that up, and they would start talking about a whole different thing of what that triangle means. So we're not going to get into that because I talked to my service sponsor before that, and we talked about it. I said, well, I'm going to stick to what I was saying. And so it is suggested that recovery is the 12 steps. And for unity, it's suggested are the 12 traditions. And service is described in the 12 concepts for world service and the AA service manual. So when I get out this recovery, that's where it all starts. It all starts with recovery. And I can remember going to this club out in Harvey. It's called the Harvey 100 Club. And I can remember going in there, and you have to go up to the second floor to the meeting. And right there is a sign that says, the express elevator is broke. You must take the steps. So then I was going on, they were saying, well, like, what's the sense of being in a 12-step program without taking the steps? So you get a sponsor, and he leads you through the steps, and then you're supposed to go on. And then after you go through the steps, they ask you, what should you do? And you should find a sponsee to carry the steps on. Cut that short. Recovery. So I've been in recovery since August 8, 2007. Then they get into the unity. And I remember I'm going to a meeting with a guy, and very good friend. He just will be a sponsor, because I've been with him through the whole flick. And he always come on. He says, I'm so and so, and I'm here because I can't stay sober by myself. And that means a lot to me. So I can unity is the group. I can remember 20 years ago coming into this program of Alcoholics Anonymous, and I got that Bill syndrome, whereas I say I stay sober about I say a month or two. It might have been more or less 3 weeks. And I asked this guy to sponsor me. And he didn't sponsor me, but he introduced me to one of his sponsees to sponsor me. But anyway, as I said, I didn't stick then. This was in the probably, and I went back out there for another 20 years. I came back into the program in 2007, and I go to a meeting. Who do I see? I see this guy. Now he got about 30 years. You understand what I'm saying? But the unity is, if him and all the people that was before me don't stick together and keep this going, where would AA be now? I can remember when Dr. Bob was dying and Bill came to his bedside and he told Bill, Bill, I'm gonna leave this in your hand. Don't F this up, keep it simple. So that being said, the unity is we're right now got AA in our hands. So it's up to us, and I'm talking about us as in me, to keep this AA going. I don't want to be known in my legacy that AA went down while Leon was in. I want to keep this thing going for the newcomer that's coming in the door. Like I went back out there for 20 years, but when I came back, the doors were still open and I had somewhere to go. So it's the unity is we stand together and keeping these doors open. Somebody brought earlier, Sabrina had brought up that during this pandemic, a lot of, I just heard today that a club in Chicago, Wicker Park, was going out maybe because of this pandemic, because they're not having meetings and they can't pay the rent, during this pandemic. It's very important that we keep these doors open. And Sabrina brought up a good point about the newcomer, and coming into a Zoom meeting. I know when I came in, I was a helpless case too, Rob. I was helpless, man. I was out there and lying to myself. And if I had to come in and we was doing these Zoom meetings, man, I'd be talking to y'all like right now, got me a drink right down here and be like, yeah, you're right. And then I go to this little thing where I could blank y'all out and be doing my thing, I needed hands-on. I need hands-on. It's good for all of us that got some years and we could get through this pandemic. Not all of us, but most of us. But I needed hands-on. And I'm glad you guys kept the door open and had somewhere for me to go. Then we get to the suggestion for AA service is described in the 12 concepts for well service and AA service manual. Also in the AA comes of age. Now, when we get to service, I could talk about service for a long time. I have a couple of service sponsees, and during this time of the pandemic, I always bring up this pandemic. It's not. I'm not doing for them what I'm doing for my new service sponsee, what I did for the one I did the first time. And most of my sponsees, they hold a position in AA, and we're not able to go to all the conventions and forums and meet the different people to help us as we move on. Also, I like to just throw out there that, they asked me to speak on this. I know a lot of people in this meeting here have a better opinion on what I'm talking about. So, if you got a different opinion, you could do it in the question and answer, or you could get with Eileen after the meeting and ask her to let you speak next year. So I throw that in there. But anyway, I can remember getting into service. I had 1 year sober, and I remember I volunteered for the All Chicago Open, and I can remember going there, and I was a greeter, and I can remember I think they never really ever had a greeter like I was that first year, man. I was up there shaking hands and hugging, and I can remember my grand sponsor, one of my grand sponsors at that time, but he spoke at that, and that was Norman. And I can remember them lights coming on at the pavilion. I'm seeing all the people. That's when we had to pack that pavilion. And I said, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a service worker. So that second year, talking to some people, I became a GSR, General Service Representative. And when I became a General Service Representative, it got me to the area assemblies. And I started meeting a lot of people at the area assembly. And then I can remember at the first district meeting I went to, they had they wanted a delegate to the Public Information Committee, and they wanted an alternate, and nobody volunteered for it. My first district meeting, and I remember volunteering to be an alternate to the PI, and I kept asking the PI delegate to let me get downtown, man. Let me meet some of the people downtown, and he would never do it. And eventually he stopped coming, and I got to be the delegate for our district to the PI committee. And I remember by being a delegate to the PI, I eventually became the chair of the PI committee. And it got me to go into the area assembly and meeting a whole new, that's why I met Eileen and David and a host of other people at these assemblies. And also when I became the chair of the committee for the PI, Public Information, they gave me a budget. With that budget, it's going to throw some workshops and all of that, but it also gave me an opportunity to go to different state conferences, some forums. I went to the We Ain't Saints, getting to see how AA is ran. And when I started getting into the service, I stopped being just being in AA. I stopped being a part of AA. It's always some opportunities for service. You got to find out what your liquor service is. You could be a good chairperson, you could be a good cigarette butt picker upper, but you got to find somewhere to do in service, because service is the key to your success in staying sober. To me, I'd become the chair of the PI. I see this guy walk around me, and I asked him to be my service sponsor. And that was Tommy B. And me and Tommy, we started going to events in Ohio, Wisconsin, Indiana, Michigan, and in Illinois. Different state conferences, forums. We went to a concept retreat up in Wisconsin. We just started meeting a host of past delegates, past chairpersons in different states and different cities and different districts. And it was an experience that I will always hold deep. So that in a few more years, became alternate delegate. And when I'm becoming alternate delegate, they start paying my way to these, feed me and putting me up in a hotel and all of this, and study with Tommy, and Tommy was a delegate. I was the alternate. And by the time when I did become the delegate, I knew everybody. You're talking about somebody that know everybody. Tommy B knows everybody, every state, and he's loved by everybody. And he introducing me to these people. So by the time I became delegate, when I did go to New York, I was no stranger. I could fit in with them. I could talk the talk, the Robert Rules of Order, how the meetings ran, different things that motions had been formed in the past. I had Reuben G. He helped me a great big. Michael H. All past delegates. They put me under their wings. So by the time I did become a delegate, I was well prepared. And so up under that, what I'm getting at is that AA invested in me to go to all these things and learn all of these points in the world of service. So now, once I learned all this, just like when you have a sponsor to lead you to the step, I'm able to take people under my wings now as a service sponsor to show them so that they won't be strangers and they can fit in a lot of times, a little bit better. They might come with questions. Like I say, during this pandemic, it's not very easy because, we can't go to events together. We could do the Zoom meeting, but the Zoom meeting is a very impersonal. Like I see Kimberly, I see Julian, I see Jay. I see you, but I don't see you. You see what I'm saying? Through the Zoom. And I'm not a very good Zoom person, but David asked me to get this lead, and if I'm telling me to get this lead, he told me basically about a month ago. To start getting ready for this a month ago, I don't know how many people I done tore up just trying to make this old great talk that I'm gonna give about service sponsorship, but I do have a sponsee now. And he's in a position and he's doing a great job. I've been knowing him for quite a while. And when he asked me to be his service sponsor, it was a great privilege, for a person of his status to ask me that, And I hope I can help him as much as I can. I don't have much more to say, to say that thank you for asking me to come out to speak, and I keep coming back. Thank you.
Thank you, Leon.